Good evening, and I hope you had a happy new year. Today is January 2nd, 2025. It's wild to me to say the year 2025. What an incredible time to be around, right? And also, it was pointed out to me just yesterday that the year 2000 and the year 2050 are equidistant away from us right now, and that just boggles the mind. I wanted to give an update. It's been about a month and a half since my last video update, and tomorrow is also the anniversary of our swearing in and taking office. So I kind of want to go over a couple of things that have occurred over the past year, talk about some of our accomplishments, talk about some of our learning opportunities, and talk about what's to come. So, first things first, when we took office, we were all new. One of the councilmen had been on the council for I think around 8 months prior to that, but four of us were new. We had new legal representation. We had a new town manager that came in early in the year, and the first part of the year was certainly trial by fire, right? And we had to figure it out as we went. I'm happy to say that I think most of us rose to the challenge, rose to the occasion, did find our bearings and got our feet under us as fast as we could on that front. One of the first items that I personally did was that I sorted the boards and commissions for the town. We're talking like the Board of Zoning Appeals, the Planning Commission, the RDC, things like that. They were a jumble. If I'm being completely honest, no one knew who had been appointed by what governing body, when they were going to expire, were they within statute. There was a number of different things that were very confused, and the records were slim to none in a lot of cases and required a lot of effort. I'm happy to say that those got updated. Our website now has a much more user friendly interface to see these different appointments, when they expire, who they were appointed by, um, and links to all the different rules about these appointments. Speaking of, here at the end of the year, one of the things I instituted was I did set up an application to be sent out to the public for people that were interested in joining a board or commission. This is the first time that I know of in Whitestown that this has been done, especially just sent out to the public. And why I did that was because I want to increase the pool of talent that we have available in front of us. If we don't look for people that have these talents and the drive to join us and to be part of this, then we're never going to expand. We're never going to reach beyond those resources we've used this whole time. I'm excited to say that we have more applications this time than we had last time. In fact, in some cases, there's more applicants than there are positions. There's several new faces on there. It's going to be a really exciting time for Whitestown to be able to have those new skill sets to choose from when we're filling out those boards and commissions. So happy to see that. Some of the other things that we did is that we improved the facilities at Anston Park, and we also improved Jackson Run. There's a new playground there. Our parks team did a fantastic job with Jackson Run. It looks great. I was there for the grand opening of it. It's a great facility. If you're in that area, check it out. Let me know what you think. We also authorized the 180 makeover grant for several of our legacy core businesses. Hattie's and LA Cafe are the first two that come to mind. These are going to be grants that are not funded directly from the town, but rather as the town is the mechanism from which the money comes from the state to the end user to help facilitate upgrades. Very happy to see these businesses taking advantage of those grants. We authorized Peters and Hall Street expansion to be able to better utilize the eastern half of our town, especially along the Legacy Core Corridor. That is an ongoing project. We also authorized and completed the purchase of the land to the north of Main Street Park. This will allow us to expand facilities in that area and make sure that it doesn't become just a strip mall right in the heart of our city, but rather something that in time and in the future will be a real asset and jewel for the community. Um, what that will look like, we're still working on. We have a few ideas. I can't get into the details just yet, but I hope you'll be as excited as I am about it when it comes about. Um, but we're really taking a view of what can we do now to improve things over the next 20 and 30 years. The town's nothing like it was 15 years ago, nor is it anything like it will be in 15 years. But how can we make the best use of our resources to make the town grow into a city? That is something I'm very interested in doing to safeguard us and to make sure that everybody has representation and how we can grow. So look for more news on that in the near future. Hopefully, something will be coming out soon that you'll celebrate as much as I hope you will. On that note, we also have begun initial plans and stages of a new park over at the Rex facility. Now, I know at the end of 2023, the previous administration had talked about an aquatic center there. It's easy to say it, it's not as easy to come up with the designs, pay for it, and make it work out. We're still on board to get something over there that I think the town's really going to enjoy. We're working with a few different partners. You may have heard of some of them. I'm not going to get deep into it right this second. We still hope to have something over there that you guys are going to really enjoy and love. The park I'm talking about is a separate piece. It does not take away the possibility of an aquatic center on that side. And the west side of 65, where Rex is, has needed some love for a while now. There needs to be amenities over there and facilities for you all to enjoy. And that has been a priority, I know, for Councilman Thomas and Councilman Nichols. It's something that I share that fervency with them on. And I would really like to be able to get more of your input on what exactly you want to see over there. But it's going to turn out to be something that you're going to be proud of to be able to facilitate, not have to cross 65 to go do everything all the time. And so I'm happy to see that progressing. Um, on a little bit more of a paperwork dull side, I am happy to say that we instituted policies and procedures for council. This is a document that says how council should act, how council should govern itself, how spending should occur, and it was desperately needed for some time. We're no longer a small town made up of a few hundred residents and families. We are no longer even a big small town. We're a small big town, and we're going to continue growing. So the emphasis now is making sure that we're following state statute, that we're making sure that we're buttoned up in how we do things, that we are following the state board of account guidelines, that we are adhering to the IRS guidelines and how we do things, and that we're making sure that we have controls in place to be accountable for how your tax dollars are being spent. And that is something that these policies and procedures really do make possible, and it set the groundwork for more documentation to make sure that everything fits within all the boxes it needs to be accountable to you, the taxpayer. Um, Happily, we were able to retire Canine Officer Igor to his police handler. Those that don't know, Canine Igor had a cancer diagnosis that meant he was no longer going to be able to be on the streets as a canine officer. And we unanimously decided that the best home for Igor for the rest of his days was with his handler. I'm very proud to be a part of that. We passed a budget that had no effect on increasing any taxes for the community. Proud to see that. We approved the Wally's construction that's going to be located off of 65 there where the Green Cycle facility was. I believe they plan to open sometime in the fall of 25 according to the billboard. And I'm excited to see that. Um, we're in the initial approval stages of Paget Commons, which will act as a buffer between the warehouses and the residential area off exit 131, so that it's not just warehouses right between the houses. Instead, it'll be a mixed use of retail facilities and amenities for people and some townhomes and residential style units to step down from the warehouses to Paget Commons and then into the neighborhoods. It's also going to be the driver to connect the roadways so that 550 could be utilized for north-south access and be able to help alleviate some of the traffic congestion along Whitestown Parkway. So that's exciting to see come around. We welcomed the Hussey Mayfield Memorial Public Library here to Whitestown. It's a great facility. If you hadn't had the chance to go and visit it yet, I strongly encourage you to go do that. There's some wonderful people over there. I've been in several times. I've gotten the opportunity to sit down and utilize their podcast booth with them. Spoiler, there may be something coming out in the near future that you get to hear my voice on. Sorry. Um, Great facility, and a library is part of the heart and soul of a growing community, right? The classes that they have, the facilities that they have for kids and teens, and even our oldest members of our community as well. There's programs there. There is a public meeting room that can be utilized in that library. It's just a great facility. They do the 3D printer. They have the sewing machine and things of the Maker Studio is what it's called. And I strongly encourage you to go in there, check out the facility for yourself. Um, if you don't want to do the podcast booth or the technology stuff, just get a book, sit down, read it, enjoy your time in there. Tell them I said hi, and tell me what you think about the facility. Beyond that, man, we have welcomed numerous business to Whitestown. Just off the top of my head, there's Tattooology. There's, of course, Planet Fitness. There's the new Hummus Republic. Many more in the hopper coming along. Um, I believe that there's another one that's going to be opening up here in about a week and a half. Um, in that area, in the Anson area. Lots of options coming to town, a varied menu for you to utilize. And our neighbors in Zionsville opened up some businesses that people were very happy to see, from the Crew Car Wash and the Aldi's grocery store in our neck of the woods. So more growth coming to Whitestown. It's going to continue. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and discuss the elephant in the room that some people have talked about, and that is the council races. In my November video that I did right here, I asked my constituents to let me know what they thought about those raises, how they felt about it. And every response I got, both on that video, it through Messenger, direct phone calls, emails, were positive. It's easy for me to sit here, obviously, and say that uh, people wanted me to make more money or whatever, but that's not the point of it. What we are doing is getting ourselves closer in line to our neighbors, though we're still well short of the pay of our closest neighbors, Zionsville and Lebanon. But where we are now, where we landed, means that we don't have to do this ugly political football again. It's been something that's been needed for some time, and no one had the resolve to do it because they were scared of the impact and scared of the optics on it. And to be completely blunt about it, had to happen sooner rather than later just to make it work, because what's going to be able to happen now is that we'll never have to do another big increase ever again. It can simply sit along with the rest of the pay that gets authorized for cost of living increases, that sort of thing, and it won't have to be this dramatic in the future. I've seen accusations of council enriching themselves through council work. I know I can only speak for myself, but I do know that the other counselors put in dozens of hours a month, dozens and dozens of hours a month. We attend meeting after meeting, not just the public council meeting. We also are responsible to all of you, your calls, your texts, your emails, what have you. And we're always on in a way. When we go out in public, if we're shopping or we're dining and someone stops us, wants to talk about it, there's a conversation to be had. The increase, it's easy to say that the percentage was large because, yeah, it was. When you're going from a small number to a bigger number, the percentage is skewed. Um, I'm not making excuses for it. You, my constituents, said that that was something that you approved of. I listened to you. We did it. I struck the idea of president kicker, which would be a little bit of an extra pay for president. Yes, president does more work than the rest of council, but I already knew the optics on this situation were going to look the way they did. And I really just wanted to see things get set and rectified for moving forward so we can all get back to our jobs and get back to the business of running the town. Um, that's my reasoning. That's what went into it. And when there's something that comes up that's contentious, I will always reach out to you and listen to you and get your feedback on it. That being said, I was also happy to go ahead and authorize raises and bonuses for the town employees. They worked hard this year and they absolutely did deserve them. So I was glad to make that happen, especially in a moment when we were able to do so at no additional cost to the taxpayers. We also did authorize the beginnings of a municipal public safety training area. That's something I'm very happy to see. I'm very proud of. This will allow our police and fire to do joint training operations right here in Whitestown. They won't have to go out of town to other facilities. They won't have to book times at other facilities to do this training. In time, not right away, but in time, this will allow them to coordinate and rehearse mass casualty incidents, whether it's a big traffic accident or something much more nefarious, which I hope never happens, but it's the modern world. We have to be prepared for that. It will also allow for classroom teaching. It will allow for neighboring jurisdictions to possibly come in and train with us jointly. And I think it's something that will bring more of a world-class feel to our town. I almost said city, but our town. And it will help make Whitestown more of a destination for officers, both firefighters and police that want to come to this area to know that we care about and invest in what they do and that we have these facilities on hand to help them train and make them a little bit better. All that being said, some of the negative, of course, we did say goodbye to my friend and colleague, Tanya Sumner. She passed this past year, and she's missed. She's terribly missed. Her calm resolution is absolutely missed, and she was this incredibly smart woman. I wish her husband Matt and son Logan all the peace on earth that I can, and I know they're doing good. They're doing as good as can be expected. Um, we have just ended the first year of our term. Uh, Council officer elections take place on January 6th. New board and commission appointments will take place at that time. Not all of them, but you can check the schedule on the Whitestown page. And we're going to get right back to work. There is no downtime. We're going to keep going full drive and try to make Whitestown even better place for all of you that live here. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer anything I can. Um, I work hard for you. I am doing everything I can for my constituents and for the good of Whitestown. And I hope that that comes through and that you guys um, see what's being done and appreciate it. So thank you very much. Have a great evening. I hope you all had a very safe and restful holiday season. And welcome to 2025. Have a great night.